What is up, guys? In this video I'm going to show you my branded Dark Magician deck, and as you can see by the title of the video, you're only going to have a few more days to play this before the tier 0 most broken shit ever is going to come out in Master Duel. So enjoy the next few days if you want to play this deck. So this deck is heavily inspired by other Dark Magician content creators as well, but I did put my own spin on it. So I'm just going to go through the deck for you guys. So basically, standard, 2 Dark Magician, 3 Magician Soul, then I'm running 3 Maxi. I feel like Maxi is an absolute must. You have to run this card. I mean, it's just too good going second. It actually helps you against boards like Sprite or, yeah, I mean, we're only facing Sprite, so it's really good against Sprite. And as you can see, I cut the Ash Blossom because this card was just basically not doing anything, because Sprite can play through Ash Blossom, can play through Infinite Impermanence. So, okay, moving on. Classic. 3 Magician's Rod. Then I'm running 2 Fallen of Albaz, needed for the branded engine. I'm running 1 Dark Magician Girl. Then I'm running 2 Illusion of Chaos, still standard. And then I'm running 1 Terraforming to get as many chances to get Secret Village of the Spellcasters as possible. And if I need it, I can also get Magician's Salvation. You can also put in 1 Chicken Game, so you have the draw power, but I opted for 3 evenly matched. Now, as you can see, I cut 1 Preparation of Rites. The reason being is this deck is already hyper consistent with the 3 branded fusions as well. So I felt like I could cut 1 Preparation of Rites just to fit in another card. Now, moving on, 3 branded fusions, 2 Secret Village of the Spellcasters. You basically have 3 with Terraforming, as I said. Magician's Salvation, 1 Dark Magician Circle. I see some people play 2, or like 2 Eternal Souls, but I feel like it's not really needed. If this card gets destroyed, you can get it back from the grave with Soul Servant anyways, as I did like many times. Then moving on to the board breakers, I'm running 2 Super Polys, and I'm running 3 evenly matched. But you can also run Dark Ruler No More. That's basically it, honestly. So the reason I'm running so many board breakers is it's the only way to beat Sprite going second. You get a Maxi, 9 times out of 10 it's gonna get negated by Call by the Grave. So you're gonna need some board breakers, and I feel like evenly matched and Super Poly are just by far the best choices. So Super Poly is always useful. Like, I've barely had any duels where I was like, wow, this is not really useful. So most duels this is very useful. And evenly matched, the reason I'm running 3 instead of 2, you can think like it may be a little bit bricky, but going first, you can always send it to the grave with Magician's Soul, which I do quite often. And going second, if you can get a evenly matched going second, and you can actually get it off, 9 times out of 10 you're going to win the duel. Actually, 10 times out of 10 you're going to win the duel. So this card is just way too broken right now because people set up a board with so many different monsters and so many different back row. So this is just an absolute must. You can, however, cut it back to 2 if you want to run another Preparation of Rite, you want to run a Chicken Game. But I feel just 3 evenly matched, just to increase the odds of getting it in your opening hand is just, it's just too good. Then I'm running 2 Skill Drains, and I must say, like, Boyan, but looking at your deck, don't you want to resolve your own effects? I mean, you can run Goza Match. I'm going to show you guys. You can run 2 Goza Match instead of the Skill Drains if you're having issues with resolving your own effects. But the thing is, if you get this card on the field, turn 1, 9 times out of 10 it's an insta-win. If you can get this card on the field, turn 1, plus Skill Drain, it's always an insta-win. If you can get this card on the field without Skill Drain, it's a lot of times also an insta-win. The only thing this deck loses to going first is evenly matched. So I was thinking about adding Solemn Judgments, but I wouldn't know how. I wouldn't know how to fit it in this deck. So if you guys have any recommendations in the comments, please let me know. But I wouldn't know how to actually fit in the Solemn Judgments. The only reason being it will be good against evenly matched. That's it. So moving on to the extra deck. I took a lot of you guys' comments and I put it in, and I also want to show one of my own. So a lot of you guys, so obviously we have the Mud Dragon. A lot of you guys recommend me Earth Golem, which is a very good ad. It's good against Ignister, and it's also very good against Sprite. Then I also have a Starving, Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. This is just yeah, I mean, it's just 2 dark monsters. You have a lot of dark monsters. Enemies usually have a lot of dark monsters as well, so this is just a no-brainer. Then you can run another Predaplant one, but I just couldn't fit it in this build. Then I'm running 1 Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight, the Dark Magicians, and then another card you guys might not know is Mysterium, the Dragon Crown. So this is better if we have a Tamez in the deck, obviously, because you can summon it right away. But I can still summon it with Super Poly, and this card is just actually really good against Sprite going first. So they just summon a bunch of the Sprite monsters, and you can just banish it all. You can just banish it all to the grave. I really like this card. I don't feel like it's absolutely necessary in this build. So if you're running like this card, so basically in another build where you're running a Tamez, United Dragon, I would love to run this deck, but I just don't have space, as you can see. What you do is you can just play it on the field, fusion summon with whatever, a Magician's Soul or a Magician's Rod. You get your Mysterion, the Dragon, what is it, the Dragon Crown? Okay, the Dragon Crown. And basically whenever a monster gets summoned to the field, like special summoned, you can banish everyone of the same type. So against Sprite, you just banish their entire field. But the only downside is you have to use it before they get like their monster negate 1, obviously. Then moving on, we're moving to the branded engine. Mirror Jade, no-brainer, insanely broken card, very good. Then you have Lubellion. You use this card to summon the Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight on turn 1. So basically what your combo would be is like Branded Fusion, summon this, then discard 1. You use Dark Magician plus a Fallen of Elbas as fusion material. Then you discard 1 card to fusion, and you send them back into the deck. So you're going to send back Dark Magician and Fallen of Elbas in the deck, and then you can summon the Dark Magician and Dragon Knight. Keep it in mind though, if you do use it with Verte, you can't, because it says you can only summon fusion monsters. So you can no longer use the effect of Lubellion if you use it with Verte. So with Verte, you always want to summon Mirror Jade. Then moving on, we have Alba. This card is basically just fodder for Mirror Jade. So when Mirror Jade uses its effect, basically you have to send 1 fusion monster from the extra deck to the graveyard. And look at this. When you send this card to the graveyard, you can actually at the end of the turn get a branded fusion back to your hand. So that's why you're using this. Then we have an Imduk to link away your Dark Magician, so we can resummon it to banish with Eternal Soul and Dark Magician Circle. But also sometimes you can use it to fusion summon, because this is a dragon, and you can fusion summon into the Dark Magician and Dragon Knight. But that doesn't really happen a lot with this deck, because you have the Lubellion for that. Then you run Artemis to link off your Magician's Rod. You run Verte. Then also recommendation from you guys. Thank you guys so much for this. So I'm running Dark. Basically, this is such a good card because you can just link off 2 monsters, summon a monster from your enemy graveyard, go into Selene, go into Access Code Darker, wipe their field. So yeah, guys, please enjoy this deck for the coming days. It's gonna be the last few days because the tier 0 is gonna destroy our deck. I think maybe not, maybe I'm exaggerating, but I think this is gonna be like the last week we're gonna enjoy this deck. So yeah, if you guys have any more recommendations for the deck, obviously leave it in the comments. If you guys have any more recommendations for the tier 0 cards coming up, how to counter them, also leave it in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a blessed day.
What's his name? I'm like, what'd he say, bitch? I don't want you to, since you ain't even paid, bitch. We are not the same.